Alright guys, Arsenal have just beaten Leeds by 4 goals to 1 at Ellen Road, and Leeds' defence was just all over the place. Similar story to the game against Man City in the week. But Arsenal played well nonetheless, though, especially in the first half. The first goal came from Martinelli, and it also came from just Leeds defending being all over the place. Saka went on a nice run, got past a player, and then it falls to a position where there's about 3 Leeds defenders and Adam Forshaw around the ball. Forshaw picks up the ball, takes 3 touches, tries to turn instead of clearing it. It gets intercepted, the ball falls to Martinelli, and he managed to put it past Meslier in the net to make it 1-0. The second goal, it was just the gap between the right back for Leeds. I forget his name. I think it was his debut today. Either that or he hasn't. He's not very experienced. And also, I think it was Luke Ayling. Was just far too big. It was a nice pass by, I think it was Granit Xhaka, or might have been Odegaard. Through to Martinelli, and a lovely finish from Martinelli to clip it over the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. The third goal came from Bukayo Saka. It just a deflected shot that sort of curls past Meslier into the near post corner. That made it 3 at half time, and Leeds barely got forward in the first half. I think there was one occasion under Rafinha which resulted in a shot that went wide. Other than that, there was very little from Leeds going forward, and it just looked like Arsenal were going to continue in the second half. But in the second half, Arsenal sort of decided to, shut up shop a little bit, or at least play on the counter-attack. And Leeds definitely it was more of an even game in the second half, although there weren't many chances. Granit Xhaka, in my opinion, probably should have been sent off for a challenge on Rafinha. It was a poor tackle. It was a Granit Xhaka tackle. Just so reckless, and he's gone with his studs up over the ball straight into Rafinha's ankle, and that, on another day that could be a broken ankle. So it was a really dangerous tackle, and he probably should have been sent off. Although then Leeds continued with a bit of pressure, and Joe Gelhardt managed to earn Leeds a penalty with a run into the box. Ben White produced a poor tackle, really, if we're being honest. It was late, and it just wasn't very well timed. That gave Leeds the penalty, and Rafinha absolutely smashed it into the top right corner to make it 3-1. And it looked like Leeds might go for it a little bit more at that point, but Arsenal managed to get them on the counter-attack once again. I think it was Tyler Roberts who was dispossessed in midfield, and Odegaard was running forward with the ball in the centre of the pitch, and he clips it onto the on-running Emile Smith-Rowe off the bench, and Smith-Rowe volleys it past Illan Meslier to make it 4-1. And that was game over at that point, no contest. And Arsenal are starting to look really good. They've had a few poor results this season. They've lost to Man City 5-0 at the start of the season. They've also had other big other losses to big teams like Liverpool. And they've also had a few disappointing losses to Brentford on the first day of the season. Who else they lost to? Everton more recently. And also, I think they'll feel a bit disappointed with the Man United one a few weeks ago as well, considering that they were in a winning position. They were 1-0 up. But I don't think that they're really bad results, to be honest. The Man, like other than the Man City and Liverpool one, but I think that's the risk you take when you play the style that Arsenal play. You know, there is a chance that a team like Liverpool can rip you apart. But other than that, I think Arsenal are probably now my favourites to get top four, because they've got a really good young side, and they just look threatening to any team really, other than, you know, maybe the big three: Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. And I think they probably will be the team that gets that fourth spot. I still think unless Man United can get something really special in the January transfer window, like I don't know, well, just a defensive midfielder to partner Fred, who is actually playing quite well at the moment. Um, I think, yeah, Arsenal probably are my pick for the fourth spot. As for Leeds, I don't think they'll get relegated this season, because Calvin Phillips and Patrick Bamford are going to come back at some point. And Leeds' record when Calvin Phillips is in the team is like, I think they average like 1.7 points per game or something. So 1.7 points per game, I'd imagine that's around 65 points a season, which, considering Liverpool finished third last season with 69 points, that's probably not far off, or probably it might even be a Europa League spot. It's around 7th in the table, 64 points. So their record with him in the team, Calvin Phillips, is impressive. So if he comes back, you'd think maybe their fortunes would change. But until then, they look like they are really going to struggle, because they have got so many injuries to players like him and Patrick Bamford. And they're just not a good side defensively. They weren't last season, but at least last season they had quite a lot of games where they scored 3 or 4, even 5, I think, against West Brom last season. So yeah, they're going to struggle, I think. Leeds are. If I was to predict their position by the end of the season, I'll go. In fact, I'll go where they roughly are now. I think they're about 15th now, because I can't see them getting relegated. I think they'll survive with a couple of weeks to go. But when they do get a few of their players back, I think that their form will change. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.